8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now live.
89.5 WSKB.
From the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
looking at that. I don't want to look.
Your mic's on. Knock that off, Jay. They still think I'm talking in their ear.
Wow, it is Tuesday. Oh, give a boy a piece of paper.
It's called improv.
Oh, yeah.
What mic are you talking into, Jay? There you go.
There we are.
It's improv. You see, it's what can you do? I can make a
It's
hat.
Jay messing
Oh, yeah,
around.
that's exactly right.
I can make fire.
Now he thinks he's Wayne Brady.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on. That was a good show. Whose line is it anyway?
I like Drew. By the way, did you see Drew Carey was the latest person unmasked for the Masked singer?
No, I didn't.
And he actually sang pretty damn good.
I was going to say he can sing.
Now, the only person that they haven't eliminated yet out of Group A, he made it to the next round, like the round of 9, which is like their semifinals.
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski sucks as a singer. He is absolutely terrible. And they pass him through. Why? Because it's rigged.
How do you know it's Ron Gronkowski?
Oh my God. Let me find one of his performances and I will you will pick up his voice. I've heard
I
him
don't
enough.
even know who Ron Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski, former New England Patriot. The
Oh,
tight
the
end.
Gronk?
That's football.
Oh,
He is
oh,
so
football.
It's a big game.
terrible.
Played on a cow field.
Uh-huh.
He is
and,
so terrible.
How would you know his singing voice?
Because it's terrible.
Because he's not singing, he's rapping.
Is that what he said?
Oh, it's rapping.
Find a little piece of that
I'm
because
gonna-
I have
yeah.
not heard it.
I'm gonna find
that'd
it
be
because
funny.
We're not
It
going to
is-
listen to it much because Ron Gronkowski singing, I don't know.
Yes,
I mean, yeah.
No, he's terrible.
Compared to the stuff you play, Bob.
Oh, I got some good ones for you today, actually.
Ah.
I read today. Hey, everybody! It is February. What day is it? It's the 25th.
I was going to ask if you knew who we were.
Yeah, February 25th. I know who you are. You're the trusty, dusty, lusty, musty, and crusty sidekick. Well modulated as well. That's JPEG. Look, everyone. to
Often
my right.
early in the morning, quite crusty.
Yes, and Peter Coles, who is today, it's the last time he will be the Pfeiffer of February.
What?
I don't
Pfeifen?
know. I'm playing a fife.
Hassan Pfeffer.
Yes.
Now, what's Hassan Pfeffer?
Hassenpfeffer is the German word for rabbit, and it's actually really tasty. Have you ever had Eaten Thumper, the rabbit?
Eaton Thumper.
That's the way I call it.
Okay.
Yes,
No,
yeah.
I was thinking of the old Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Oh, I
Hassan
see.
Pfeffer?
I see. So getting back to this masked singer. Now, I decided not to sing. I decided not to sing on that show. I decided not
You
to
had an
be-
opportunity.
Not to watch that show?
Yeah, not to watch that show. Man, because I thought, what are they actually... They're guessing a voice... And that's it. And
So,
with
you're
these
in
wild
this
costumes?
elaborate costume, and you have to try to guess the celebrity, by just their voice.
Yeah, but okay.
And it's no, some of them it's really hard. I mean, they've had like Patti LaBelle on there.
Uh-huh.
They've had some great singers on there.
do they talk?
So that when they're actually talking, they disguise their voice.
I see.
They do electronic disguise.
And are they? Is it sort of like what's my line?
give you clues.
with costumes.
Yeah,
In,
they give you-
in other words, you ask. It's like 20 questions.
Sort of.
But then the game consists of me going. Are you
No, the-
Celine Dion?
Well,
are
the-
you?
So what happens is,
Rick
Bob, there's two
Brunquist?
layers to it. The judge panel gives their guesses on who's who.
Mm-hmm.
And then the audience and the judge panel on an app vote for the best performance, alleged performance.
Uh-huh.
And the lowest vote getter gets unmasked, and they show who the celebrity is.
And then do they get kicked off?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think you and I ought to
You're voted off
enter-
the island.
I think you and I ought to enter as the Bobbsey twins. Just saying.
don't think you guys have
We'd
enough
have to.
celebrity.
We'd have to. We
Wait.
don't have enough celebrity.
Tweedledum and Tweedledoo.
Tweedledum and Tweedledoo. Do the costumes refer to who they are?
Sorry, it's Tweedledee.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
No,
Uh-huh.
not really. No. I'm working on downloading some stuff from the White Tiger as the character.
Which one is dumb?
Yeah. With
Both of
Tweedledum
you.
and Tweedledee, one is to the right, one is to the left. I would assume that Tweedledum, if you look at them, is the one that is as you face them to the left, and Tweedledee is to the right because you read from right to left.
So
That
you're
makes
D,
any
you're
sense.
D, and I'm dumb.
I'm Tweedledum and you're D. That's
No,
dumb
you
and
said
D.
as you're looking at them, the guy on the left, and that would be me.
No. As you're looking at them, here I am.
And I'm on the left
Look
as
at
you're
me.
looking at us. Look,
No,
look,
as
look.
you're looking
Who's on
at
the left?
on television.
Who's
Warren,
on
you're
first?
On television, you're on the left. So
I don't know.
assume that then you would be
Third base.
You are Tweedledum, and I am.
See, I
Tweedledum.
told you.
Today is Fat Tuesday, everyone. Do you know what Fat Tuesday is?
Fat Tuesday has something to do with the Mardi Gras, and I have no idea
Where are the
what.
punchkis?
Yes. Oh gosh.
I sent you an email well in advance.
Is
Yeah.
punchki is what?
Yeah.
What's the plural of punchki?
Punchkis.
By the way,
No, it sounds like it is not. It sounds like it is a plural of punchka or something.
all right, so you guys ready? You want to see the clue package for the white tiger? And
All
then
right,
listen.
Very quick.
2 seconds.
Look who's still here. Shocked? Me too. I knew going into this competition I was never going to be the best singer. But I wasn't going to let that stop me. I've always known how to work a crowd. And that's been my strategy here all along. But don't take my word for it. Here's a good friend who can back that up.
White Tiger and I were college roommates freshman year, and man was that guy fun. This one time, we went out and met these smoking hot ladies at the club. There was so many dudes there, but White Tie knew exactly what to do to edge out our competition. He told the girls we were professional dancers, of the Magic Mike variety, and on the spot, he and I made up this ridiculous routine. Before we knew it, all the ladies were cheering us on.
It's Gronk.
The dudes didn't stand a chance. Smell what I'm cooking?
The Rock?
Smell what
Smell what I'm cooking.
That's a clue.
Seems like El Tigre's still
Smell
running
what
over
I'm
the
cooking.
crowd.
Could
Now
be
here's the
ever.
performance. Listen.
Salutation, so feel the vibration. Come on. Feel it.
That is
Feel
the.
vibration.
Listen to his voice.
Come on.
That's Gronk.
Look, the only way I could identify him as Gronk is if he was catching a pass on the far end of the stage. So how do you know?
Yeah.
I've listened to enough of his clips to know that's Gronk for sure.
Well, okay. So, Peter, I think I'm not going to watch that show.
See,
you know what? It's
I don't know why, because I watch American Idol. I
as
love
much
American
mindless entertainment as American Idol. So
Yeah, that's all right. I walked
There you
in the
go.
door last night and the voice was on. So go
Oh.
figure.
same thing.
Yeah.
Except this is cool because it's a celebrity. It's guaranteed as a celebrity of some sort.
I see.
Well, Bob's a celebrity of some sort.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So if we have a local edition, we'll dress Bob up in some costume and have him sing.
Actually, I like.
I
the
can pick your
costumes.
voice out too, Bob.
I like the
Could
costumes.
Could you? Even
Yes.
do you think even if I disguise my voice?
But here's the thing. Maybe I'm different because at the police department, I was really good at picking up people's voices over the radio. So, I mean, maybe I'm different than most people. I don't
And
know.
you've been listening to us on the radio
Yeah.
for 5 years.
Exactly. But that's the thing. I've been listening to Gronk's voice. If you're a New England Patriots fan, you listen to that and go, that's Gronk. There's no question about it.
Okay. All right.
I knew it on the night of the Super Bowl when they had the first episode and he came out and performed. I was like, that's Gronk. Because he's not singing. If he was singing, he could disguise his voice by singing, but he's doing this rap.
He's a
crap.
rapping. It's a rapper,
Right, which
And
is
he's-
kind of
And he did
pointless.
that victory dance that in his costume there. You know, the way you're crossing.
And the
your
clue
legs.
package gave him up.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm not watching that show.
I want to know who the guy behind the dartboard was.
Yeah. I don't know. That would
Probably
be
one of
what-
his
It
brothers.
doesn't
brother.
matter, does
Yeah.
it?
No,
It's probably one of
it
his
doesn't.
brothers.
All right.
Bob had something to talk about.
Oh
this
yeah, I
morning,
did.
didn't he?
I did.
When I so successfully derailed him.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good job. 4 points.
The
for you.
Masked
Thank
Singer is on NBC.
It's Fox.
It's Fox. Okay. All righty.
We'll give him proper credit.
All right. We'll give them on that only.
Yes.
Television. Their entertainment is actually pretty good. The entertainment portion of Fox. I gotta say.
Yeah, it's an entertaining show. It really is. It's a little bit of fun. It's nothing earth shattering.
So
it's fun.
So you just described our show, and
Exactly. That's why I love Tuesdays.
Yes, thank you. What did I do over the weekend? What did you do over the weekend?
This is a test? What?
Yeah, no.
This is only a test.
Yes.
I went out and enjoyed the sun. Between Sunday and yesterday, I was in Boston yesterday, and the convertibles are out with the top down. People are on motorcycles. It was 64 degrees driving back from the bike.
Gosh.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I think that the weekend and this week with the sun has helped to revive my spirits a bit. I even made lentil soup this weekend.
What is lentil soup?
Lentil soup. I realized that, so today is Fat Tuesday, and the beginning of Lent starts tomorrow, so I made lentil soup. I know lentils and Lent have nothing to do with one another, but I made lentil soup. Lentils are these tiny, tiny little peas. They're oh God! What? They're a legume.
They're a legume.
I thought that was the matchmaker. Oh no, that was yenta.
Yenta. Lentils are tiny little peas, and I got the green lentils this time. And I made an interesting version. Well, I made an interesting version of this soup. It was made with cumin and paprika. And
you made a spicy lentil soup.
Yeah, it was a Mediterranean cumin, paprika, and what's the other thing that goes? Oh, turmeric. Really good turmeric. It was in a bottle. I liked it's healthy food. So you make it with that, and you make it with red pepper and cut up red pepper, cut up onions that you cook until they're golden brown. Then you start to pour in everything. Potatoes, carrots, and then at the end you throw in spinach and kale.
I wasn't hungry until now.
Isn't that good? Yeah. I liked it a lot. James found that he did not care for it so much. So last night I had to go out and buy turkey sausage crumbles in order to throw something in that tasted like something other than lentil. But it's like pea soup, only it's lentil.
Okay, so we went from lentil to the start of Lent that has nothing to do with the start of Lent to Fat Tuesday that does have something to do with Mardi Gras that actually does have religious ties.
That's right. Today it's called Shrove Tuesday.
I thought it was Fat Tuesday.
It's Fat Tuesday, and it's got two names. The Christian name, the name in Catholic churches, okay, because it really started in Catholic churches. The name in Catholic churches refers to Shrove Tuesday, that today is the day that your sins are shriven.
Shriven?
Shriven. What does?
All right.
What is shriven?
I'm going to guess it means forgiven.
That's exactly right.
Okay, good. Why can't you just say forgiven?
Shriven and Shrove Tuesday, your days are shriven. Now, if in popular culture, the residents of many cities, from Rio to all over the place, to New Orleans. They celebrate Mardi Gras, and Mardi Gras refers to Fat Tuesday. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. That's terrible French, but
that was French.
Yeah, that was French. Lundi is.
Now you sound like the French chef.
Now I sound Norwegian. Lundi, L-U-N-D.
Oh, the Swedish chef. That was the Swedish chef on the Muppets. Yeah.
Lundi, and then that's Monday, and then Tuesday is Mardi. So Mardi, and then Gras means heavy or fat. And the reason why it's called Fat Tuesday is that we are giving up everything starting in Lent. That's the period of you sacrifice, etc., preparing for Easter. And so you give everything up. So the night before, or the day before, or the week before, as it is in many cities, you party till you want to drop. And then Lent starts, and then you sacrifice, you give up something during Lent or whatever. Am I right there?
The big party before the storm.
Yeah. Is that what it says here in Wikipedia?
Not even close.
No? Okay. What is it? What is it? I made a let up.
Actually, it is pretty close.
Yep.
Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday in French. That's what it
Yep.
means. So I didn't know that. But it refers to the events of the carnival celebration beginning on or after the Christian feasts of the Epiphany.
Oh.
Or Three Kings Day.
Which would be January 5th, which is a month ago.
Right, so we should have started this a month ago.
Oh.
Which makes sense since I've gained about 15 pounds since Christmas. and it culminates on the day before Ash Wednesday, which is known as you said, Shrove Tuesday.
Right.
But Mardi Gras is French for Fat Tuesday, reflecting the practice of the last night of eating rich, fatty foods before the ritual,
which is very French,
of Lenten sacrifices and fasting.
I have a
of the
friend
Lenten
who's
season.
gone down to New Orleans for the first time. She's had a friend who's been inviting her down there for over a decade, and she's like, "Just get a plane ticket. We'll come pick you up. All you need is a plane ticket. That's it. Come on down."
Wow! So
And
she's down there celebrating. Well,
she's staying at their house. She's got a place to stay. She's like, "I'm going," and she's having a blast down there. I saw pictures. I'm kind of envious.
Yeah, the New Orleans has not a lot of rules when it comes to this event.
Not a lot of rules.
No.
I think that's
they're
probably the best description I've heard of this thing.
You
call
could,
Mardi
you
Gras.
could, you can carry your drink from bar to bar. Okay.
Yeah, open containers kind of thrown out the window.
Now,
Mardi
I
Gras.
want to know where the beads came from.
Oh, all right. We will talk about that when our lovely Janine Queen comes in the second hour, because we're going to be talking about Mardi Gras, and she's learned all about Mardi Gras.
Cool.
So I don't want to steal her thunder, so to speak. But I will tell you that.
But he's going to ruin it anyways.
No. But it reminded me that you can carry your drink bar to bar. Get this. All last night, and I can't get it out of my head, I've been singing this little refrain from an opera, believe it or not, I watched this weekend. And the opera, it's by Kurt Weill. Kurt Weill is the guy that wrote Mac the Knife, Threepenny Opera and stuff. Well, he wrote a really cautionary opera that is now on Broadway HD, direct from the theater in Madrid, which does these great productions. And it's in English, incidentally. And it's a cautionary tale about it's called The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahagoni. It looks like mahogany, but it's mahagoni. And the first little thing in the song, in the opera is, "Show me the way to the first whiskey bar." Da 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 da.
The Doors did that.
Yeah,
The Doors did that.
That's exactly right. The Door, and then the moon of Alabama. Da da.
Now I've lost it.
Dum dum da dum. Yes, Peter, would you just look up the Doors Alabama song? And so I all night long, all last night while I was trying to sleep, this song came reverberating in my head, and I can't get it out of it. And I thought to myself, what would I do to get that? And I thought that my friends Jay and Peter will gladly help me out
You
here.
thought that, huh?
Yes, yeah. Oh,
Well, you should have been listening to the radio on your way in. You would have gotten out of your head with those Snap the Power.
oh, okay. So here we go.
Yeah, that's the one.
What's it called? Alabama?
Alabama song.
Yeah, it's one of those songs like the Bob Dylan song "Everybody Must Get Stoned."
Yeah.
What's the name of that song?
Everybody Must Get Stoned. No. What is the name of that
What's
song?
the name of the song? Everybody knows it as "Everybody Must Get." It's
22nd Street or something?
Rainy Day Women.
Rainy Day. Oh, here it is. Okay, listen to this. Oh, this is going to kill me for the rest of the day.
It's because it's an oopa.
Yeah. It's written in G minor, incidentally.
The way
To the waste whiskey bar.
Oh, don't ask why.
Oh, don't ask why.
Show me the way to the next
Whiskey bar.
You know what song does that to me, Jay? Carnival 9.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now listen, here's the part. It's coming up.
Don't find
the next whiskey bar. Tell them I don't die. Who knew that they were singing opera? The Doors, you know. Now this is the pretty part, and then the prostitute sings this. Oh, moon of Alabama. Ba-ba-ba-da. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, moon of Alabama. So anyway, how am I going to get that out of my head?
This is the song that'll stick in your head, Bob. I'll replace it with this one. What are you doing?
What do you got?
What's Jay playing? Now, this is the song, Jay. Turn that down.
That's not.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends.
It's the same kind of melody.
That's not Carnival 9.
Yes, it is.
Okay, has a little bit of New Orleans in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What is the name of this song?
Carnival 9.
Evil Mind.
Yeah.
There is a band in the area called Deep Cover that does this incredibly well.
Love this song.
Yeah, there's and in fact that same band does some Genesis, Journey. I mean, great tunes from the 70s and early 80s. I'm trying to get them into town.
Is that
to do
Equinox?
something. No, but it is some members of Equinox.
Okay, because Equinox is a great band too.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So it's 6:25. Why don't I play a song from Mardi Gras? You know, New Orleans is famous for all kinds of music. I mean, it is the music capital of the world. So I thought on today's program we're going to play all kinds of songs that are associated with Mardi Gras. And I thought, well, let's start with Zydeco. So, you know, who's the famous Zydeco player? Buckwheat Zydeco. You know Buckwheat Zydeco? You've never heard of him.
Buckwheat was a kid on The Little Rascals.
Yes, but this is Buckwheat Zydeco. It's one of the more famous Zydeco bands. And Jambalaya. Oh, you can tell me what jambalaya is, Peter. What's jambalaya?
Great food.
Yeah, it's a stew made with andouille sausage, usually chicken or shrimp.
Often spicy.
With
and
rice.
Lobster. You throw everything in it. I think sort of like paella or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Spanish dish paella. I mean, yeah, that's it. Spanish. So Buckwheat Zydeco. This is jambalaya French, and you'll recognize this, and maybe this will get that darn tune out of my mind.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Saturdays were made for polka. Tune in to the Polka Jammer Network starting at 6 a.m. and Polka Hall of Famer Billy Bellina, Breakfast at BB at 8:30.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, and February 25th. And that was Jambalaya by Buckwheat Zydeco. You heard that great Cajun accordion in there. Yeah, it's terrific. But before...
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
So Jay was explaining during the break that the song that you played, Peter, was Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I can't remember there was a section. Carnival 9 was a 30-minute composition. It was the whole side of an album. And
I was saying that if you wanted to be a fan of Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, you really had to be committed. I mean, committed in both ways.
No, it's not how it sounds.
You really got to be committed to listen to a 30-minute song. I suppose I listened to a 2.5-hour opera, so I guess I could listen to a 30-minute song.
In the 70s especially, there were a lot of groups. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer was one of them. Genesis, early Genesis was one.
Phil Collins group?
Yep, yeah, really? early Genesis. The songs, I don't think they had a song that was less than 10 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true.
And Yes was the same way. And it wasn't until they somebody went up to him and said, "Look, you got to shorten these if you want them to play on the radio because they're
great album rock though."
Oh, then
especially
FM.
Early Yes was just awesome album rock.
Early on when FM was just taking off, album-oriented rock stations were the place to go if you wanted to hear that music.
But popular stations were not.
No, top 40 you wouldn't
It had
hear
to be 3 minutes 30 or what?
Yeah, you had to be less than 3 minutes and 30 seconds, or you weren't going to get airplay.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of radio stations, did you hear WAF went off the air?
AAF went off the air. They're going to be Christian stations now.
Same thing that happened to WCCC. So all these hard rockin' stations are being bought up by the Christians and playing Christian music on
Yeah, and AAF used to be an album-oriented station.
Yep.
Album-oriented rock
WAAF?
out of Worcester.
Boston.
And there was another one in New Haven, Connecticut. I think this one's still on the air, WPLR.
So these are album-oriented, so they play the whole album.
Not the whole album, but they weren't afraid to play a long song.
Unreleased singles, too.
Yeah.
Stuff that was unreleased as a single, they would
tracks.
play.
You know, now that you say this...
Like Led Zeppelin never released a single.
Yeah, that's really true. I was thinking that maybe the reason why jazz isn't as popular or as known and people sort of shy away from it is that their songs are... in the jazz world are often very, very long, 5 and 7 minutes.
Well, and they're unreleased.
So
unreleased as singles, so they never hit the pop chart.
Yeah, and because they're improv or whatever, of course, and I think they certainly learned to do shortened versions of that. On our show, I try to keep everything below 4 minutes, 3:30.
Could have a lot of good songs that way, Bob.
And for the record, Led Zeppelin released 16 singles.
16
Yeah,
singles.
but the most popular songs of the year I was born, 1971, was a Led Zeppelin album, and I can't remember which one. But nothing on the album was released as a single. They started releasing later on.
There's a lot of albums that never released singles.
Was Jethro Tull another one of those that had long songs?
No, some.
Yeah. The American Pie is the one that sort of broke all records.
There were two.
And Queen.
Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
But before Bohemian Rhapsody, you're right. American Pie was one. The other one was a long song by Eric Clapton. What was it?
A long
Oh,
song.
Layla. With the
Layla,
long version of
Layla with
Layla.
the piano
exit.
at the end.
That's right.
And that actually, they made that fit on a 45. It was one of the first 45s I bought.
What did they speed it up?
No, they just
Get it
gave
up.
it a little more space on the record, you know. And the problem was most small 45 record players were set that when the needle got to a certain point on the piece of vinyl, it would lift up. So they were playing this a little bit further into the center in order to get the length of the. And some record players would pick up before it was all done.
That brings back a memory because they don't really make 45s any long 45.
No, but albums are starting to come back.
Albums are starting to come back.
You know what the problem was?
Yeah.
Is they don't have the equipment to do they don't have the presses anymore. They dismantled them all. They junked them all.
But now they're finding out that vinyl has a great sound to it, and so that
No, I get that, but I'm saying is now it's harder. To do that.
I do miss the pops and clicks.
Well, the 45 phonograph, as we used to call record players, that had
a fat hole in the middle.
fat hole. And if you had a 33 and a third turntable, you could buy a cartridge or this tube that would
go over the
them for your 45s. Now I like 45s in a sense because you could pile them onto that. Peter, were there 45 changers or phonographs in your day?
Yeah.
Were there?
Yeah, when I was a kid, yeah. The things kind of moved to the CDs in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
Mid 80s CDs.
See, but here's the difference. Well, in CDs,
mid 80s. That's
you still got to do it with CDs, but the technology to skip around was there. But when you had a piece of vinyl, you'd start it. You knew every song on that side.
Oh, yes.
You played the whole record.
Yes.
So you knew if there were 5 songs on that record, when you put the needle down, you listened to all 5 songs.
And when you hear that song, you expect to hear a song after that.
Exactly.
You know what's coming up. It's sort of like a classical music piece where you know that's coming up. Okay,
there's a few seconds space, but the anticipation of that next song.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, everybody, 6:35 in the morning. I want to play this. Professor Longhair. Do you know the name Professor Longhair? Neither one of you.
Is that some guy at Westfield State?
No, long-haired person, I suppose. Back in my day, I think if you were a long hair, you were considered sort of bookish, academic. A long hair,
a long hair way back then.
Yeah.
A long hair did have a different meaning. Yeah, it's not like a long hair today or a long hair in the 60s. Yeah, he's a hippie. But before that, long hair was someone of sophisticated means.
That's right. Well, Professor Longhair is actually a man from New Orleans who had a distinctive style of playing the piano. And from his styling, he had 6 different rhythm and blues kind of, how would I say it? Chord variations, etc. And from those came a whole. Well, it still influences people today. Alan Toussaint is one of those who references Professor Longhair, Dr. John, all of those are, even Harry Connick is playing a version of Professor Longhair stuff. And this is the song that you would probably hear at Mardi Gras, in the street festivals when the parades go by. And this is called Big Chief. It's Professor Longhair. It's a great song. Listen to this.
water gonna make me shout. I'm going down and I get my squaw. Me might buy a great big car. I'm gonna do everything I could. Me big Jeep, I'm feeling good. Me big Jeep, I got 'em tried. Got my tail right by my side. My playboy, he just went by. My spy boy, he's full of fire. Me whole tribe and having fun. We gonna dance the morning fun. Down and I get my squaw. Me might buy a great big car. I'm gonna do everything I could. Me big Jeep, I'm feeling good. Me big Jeep, I got 'em tried. Got my tail right by my side. My playboy, he just went by. My spy boy, he's full of fire. Me whole tribe and having fun. We gonna dance the morning fun.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday.
I waited for your
We
lips.
were in the middle. I was in the middle of a sentence.
I waited for your lips to stop moving before I opened the microphones.
Yeah.
You could have just brought the mics up and just let it roll.
No,
Oh, God.
I was like, I know he's talking.
No, that could be dangerous.
I waited for his lips to stop moving, and then I popped the mics open.
Hey, guys, guess what? You
Yes,
convinced
boss.
me about something.
What?
I've got to thank you. Last week,
What did we do?
Remember last week when we were talking about how to buy a car?
Yep, you bought one. I saw a new car in your yard.
Actually, I'm driving one.
It's a silver car.
Yeah, it's a silver car. That's all so look.
I knew it was a
Wait,
Chevy.
let me go look.
Yeah.
Is it a Chevy?
No, there's nothing
No,
near the ground.
No, it's another Ford. That's
It's
right.
another Ford. It is.
I had to go to the ATM yesterday, and
Yeah.
you can see your backyard from when I pull into the ATM.
Oh, I gotcha. You're casing my house there.
Well, that's as close as I can get to it without an invite. So
Of what's going on over at the house I'm not invited to.
actually,
Yeah.
James pulled out right.
Yeah,
James
really.
pulled out right behind me, so I don't know where he's headed to.
Who was
yesterday.
that?
James.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. So get this. So I, the company that I was working with, or remember,
dealership.
and you guys said, well, they're persistent, et cetera, et cetera.
They are.
No, they're annoying.
Yeah. And Jay, well, not just that company. You just said all car salesmen tend to be that.
They can be.
No, was that right? No.
All salesmen are annoying.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
Not that I'm generalizing.
All right. Okay.
But I'm generalizing.
If we have salesmen listening on the road out there, please know that you're important. And
I'm not saying they don't have their place in the world. And in all honesty, with my real business,
You're a
real
salesman.
job, yeah, I suppose.
I guess I am a salesman.
No,
too,
he's
now
a
that I think about
schmoozer
it.
after the salesman comes in and does their damage.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Well,
no, there is a place in this world for salesmen, and if it wasn't for salesmen, I wouldn't have anything to work on. So
that's true.
No. And I think that salesmen, especially car salesmen, go through a training where they say
To be annoying?
that this is how you immediately make a connection with the person. You try to find something that is going to connect with that person.
The soft sell works better than the hard
and
sell.
then you're going to leave the room every so often for 10, 15 minutes at a time.
Let them dwell.
And let them.
Oh, I tell them right off the bat. You get up and walk out of the room. You're not going to find me here when you get back.
It's like a police interrogation. You let them stew for a while.
Yeah. And so Jay last week suggested that when I go to, I'm going to go to various dealerships and find a car after I go to various dealerships.
And you already know who you're going to buy it from, so you go to them last.
Oh, I get it.
You didn't miss. You didn't get that part.
Oh, yeah, no.
He missed the memo.
Yeah, I missed that memo. So I missed a lot of memos here, except for the one that said, "Now, when you walk in, look like you're a thug." And,
I want to see Bob walking
I
in.
did.
looking like a thug.
So you know how you raise it. If you're watching on television, I'll do it for you. But if you're not, I raise my I raise my shoulders, and then you walk from shoulder to shoulder like this. Here I am. This is my thug walk, and then you sort of like, yeah, here I come. So you guys suggested that I go to Thrifty, or you mentioned.
I didn't suggest
I did.
Peter
I did because that's what
suggested.
I'm looking at all
Not
my
that
things.
we're not promoting any particular.
No, not
car.
at all. Not at all. There are all kinds of great dealerships from Sarah Ford all the way down, Police, et cetera, et cetera. But so you suggested, and I thought to myself, I should do this. So I'm in the car, and I said, okay. I remember Jay said so I lift the shoulders up, and I walk in like this. Hi, how are you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm here. I'm here for an investigation. I mean, like I said, I was on the FBI or something, or in the FBI. I am here. I'm not going to buy a car. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to buy a car, but I am here to look at cars, especially because I saw on the paper you had an Escape. A Ford Escape 2018. Oh, yeah. Well, within 2 minutes, somehow the guy mentioned that he was from Hungry Hill, where I grew up. Okay? His name is Mike Dubois, a wonderful man.
They have character recognition so that when you're walking in the door, they already have all of your background information before you even get to the guy. They know who you are, where you came from.
They see my license plate. They go on and they find out where the license plate is, and it tells them my weight size or my waist size and my height.
So when
I last ate.
When they say
Bob,
he saw you coming, they saw you coming.
What year is it, and how many miles did it have on it?
Well, okay.
That's what I'm looking at.
No, sorry, he bought it already.
Yeah.
I know he did, but I'm looking.
I say, well, Mike, I was born in Hungary. Where were you born? On Liberty Street, right next to Tokus Bakery. I said, next to Tokus Bakery. That's around the corner. So we got this long. He was so nice, so nice. Yeah, okay, you're hooking him in. However, I recognized sooner rather than later that this wasn't a big dealership, but it was a beautiful showroom. And he said,
the cars are in good shape.
And so then I confessed to him that I went to another dealership, and I I just felt like I was being forced. No, I wasn't being forced, but I was being used, et cetera, to get me to buy, et cetera. And in fact, they even called me after I said no. I got up there.
I'm still getting calls, and all I did was an internet inquiry. I didn't even go to the damn dealership.
Oh, okay. So
it's annoying.
So, well, they're personal. So at any rate,
no, it's annoying.
He said, would you ever be interested in buying an EcoSport? That was he left and he went to upstairs and he came back and he said
if it has eco in it, Bob's buying it.
Yeah, that's it. So I said I don't know. He said, well, go out there and look at that. It's 2018. Well,
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. So they're like 1 or 2 years old.
mm-hmm.
They put about 20,000 miles on
That's
them in a
exactly
year.
right. 26,000 miles
Right.
in this car.
And they do all the maintenance. So anything that's going to break on a really good slog of driving has already broken and been fixed, right? So like any defects, like whatever, and they do a ton of maintenance on them. So you're getting all the regular oil changes, stuff like that, because they don't want to go out and have cars that break down. So they do all the maintenance on
They
them.
were really very nice, and
Right.
and once. So I'm sitting there, and the owner then came down with his 2 dogs, beautiful dogs. And it's,
They knew you had a dog too.
yeah,
didn't
they must have smelled it on it or something. So the dog, so they bring out the dog, and I gotta say, no, he was so nice. I gotta give them all a shout out. Actually, Dave DiCenzo is the owner, and he is, I think, from Southwick. Mike DeBoer is a Westfield. He lives in Westfield now. He's a Westfield resident.
Bob
And
Plass,
then
you
there-
have a brand new car.
yeah. And I got to tell you, well, we ended up purchasing this EcoSport.
I know you did. It's in
Yeah.
your driveway.
And it's right out there. I parked it. I'm trying. It's higher off the ground. And
Yeah, you have an SUV now, Bob.
It's a
Yes.
yeah. It's
You have a
one
sports
it's,
utility
requirements
vehicle.
number one.
It's smaller than an Escape, and bigger than a one of those hybrid small cars like I had, and it looks exactly the same as my last one.
All-wheel drive.
Yeah. 4-wheel drive on it. I got a 4. I don't know what the hell that means.
That you know what that you know what that means now, Jay? That means Bob has no excuse about coming in on a snow day.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
No, look, to everybody that owns an all-wheel drive car, doesn't mean you can go out in every condition, because it may help you get going, but you still gotta stop, and you only got brakes that are going to stop, and you're going to skid and do all kinds of things.
Well, I had this hybrid, and you know how soft and quiet they are.
This one makes noise, doesn't it?
And I thought there was something wrong. I said, James, there's something wrong with the car. He said, that's the engine, Bob. You never hear the engine when you have an electric car or whatever. So they even said to me, take it home overnight. So I took the car home overnight, and drive it around, etc.
Gives the illusion of trust.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm thinking to myself, what am I supposed to be looking at? I'm in the car, and it's higher up, so it was easy for me to get in. And I'm driving, and I'm thinking, well, it feels good. I don't know. I drove it around the block. I said, this is perfect. I had no idea what I was looking for. I mean, like, you know.
You need to take him on a trip. You got to get on the turnpike and go take a ride.
Yeah. So I show it to James. James says, that's perfect. We're going to buy it. And so we bought the car. And I got to thank Thrifty Car Rental. They're not a car rental. Thrifty Car Rental is the other.
That's
I
the
think,
parent organization.
This is where they go
So
to
these are
unload
the
their
stuff. Yeah,
vehicles.
these are the vehicles that have come off the road.
No,
for them.
Peter, I asked about that. Some of them do, but they go out and what kind of sold me as well. He said, "Tell me what you want. Tell me what color you want, and we'll go out and find it for you. If you're not happy here, and they were really nice. And I got to say, I was not there for 5 hours. It was great. Every time I brought a book. Remember how I said I had to bring a book? Well, I said to him, "Oh, don't take your time. I'll read the book." And I'm getting interested in the book. I couldn't get past like the 4th paragraph because he kept coming back, and I'm saying the salesman
isn't that annoying?
is following up. He's following up my reading, but Mike DeBoer, you couldn't be nicer, and I appreciate that. And so there you have it. So I guess my thug attitude, I only went to one place, but
Didn't work, did it?
Yeah, no. But we're very happy, I'll put it that way. Hey.
All right, so that's good news for me, Bob, because that's one of the places I'm looking at.
Oh, they're very, very nice.
Now,
very nice.
Another company that does the same thing, Hertz Car Sales down in Hartford. Their program is you can rent the car for 3 days to test drive it, bring it to your mechanic, whatever. And then if you buy the car, the 3-day rental goes towards the price of the car.
Oh, very interesting.
See, these guys just said, "Here, take it home."
That's exactly right. They also filled it up with
But
gas.
bring me a
for
check.
So, I had a full tank of gas. Just great. That was nice. So at any rate, I thank you very much, Thrifty, for finally we won't have anything more to discuss about my hitting a snowbank or anything.
Now we'll go back to colonoscopies.
Yeah. Oh, don't mention that. Don't mention it. Hey,
what we do for a break?
yes, we're going. Yeah. Oh,
no, but better yet.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
That's better.
Hey, okay. So, look, I'm going to play Alan Toussaint. Because Alan Toussaint is a purveyor of New Orleans music. He really is. I think he died last year, if I'm not mistaken. I hope if he's alive, I'm sorry. But no, I'm not sorry that he's alive. I'm sorry that I said that he was dead.
Just keep talking.
Yeah,
go to the break, Bob.
At any rate, this is a great Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday song. It's called "It's a New Thing." Now listen to the piano in this. It's a New Orleans thing.
Anywhere I am, there's a bit of Tipatina. Anywhere I am, there's a bit of Tipatina. Anyone from New Orleans knows exactly what I mean. Anywhere I go, something goes along with me. Anywhere I go, something goes along with me. It's the sound of the city, the Crescent City in me. It's a New Orleans thing. It's a New Orleans thing. It doesn't leave you just because you leave town. Now we got our own kind of thing. It's a New Orleans thing. Anywhere I am, there's a bit of Tipatina. Anywhere I am, there's a bit of Tipatina. It's the charm of the city, the Crescent City in me. It's a New Orleans thing. It's a New Orleans thing. It doesn't leave you just because you leave town. It doesn't leave you just because you leave town. No.
Thank you. Community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, and that means it's Travel Tuesday. This particular first Tuesdays are going to be Travel Tuesdays,
I
and
like
we
the Go-Go's. That's,
Yeah.
that's a good song.
That's not the Go-Go's, it's the B-52s.
Oh, I like the B-52s.
Though I do
That's
like
a
the
really
Go-Go's,
good
too.
song.
Well, see, it's travel related, whether it's B-52s or Go-Go's, right? And when you really think about it, right?
It's a bunch of women singing.
Yeah. Janine Queenan is here, everybody. StoriedAdventures.com is her business, and her interest is travel and all things different countries, including this country. Of
Where are
course,
we
right?
traveling to this month?
Oh, this month. You know what? I don't.
Are you going anywhere?
I'm not going anywhere until
No.
until June.
And then where are you going in June, my
I'm
dear?
going to Japan.
Are you really?
Holy
As
mother!
of now. As of now.
Yes, of now you're going. Yes, yeah.
Although again, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea, but you would think everything would be cleared up with the coronavirus by then.
Oh, I hope so. You know, yesterday I heard...
we know it will, because Trump said as soon as it warms up, the virus is going to go away.
Oh, he would... Oh, God, Dr. Trump.
I'm sorry, I don't like to get political here, but
no,
you know.
No, yeah. Well, hey, I heard yesterday that Italy had a lot of cases now.
I think it's 110. I think that's what I
110.
read, but
Now,
they
is that a
quarantine 11 towns.
No, you're kidding me.
With the military and everything blocking and stopping.
That's got to be scary. You know, I mean, I've seen movies that do that, and it's just
Contagion with Matt Damon.
Really, yes, exactly. And I'm looking at, and I just got in my real job, we're just getting notes that they've canceled a couple of conferences here in the country, and they've cautioned, because we're a worldwide corporation, they've canceled trips around the world. So what? Yeah. I guess, and it's probably not the right conversation to do here, but, should everybody stop traveling because they're paranoid of the virus?
You know what? What I've read, and I'm sure you read the same thing, is that the common flu is much more common,
right?
And sadly kills more people.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. From what I've read, it's the concern because of the spread, and they're not clear how it's spreading now, because you have the people in Italy who had no contact with anyone from China, that type of thing. So it's unclear where it's originating and how it's spreading and that type of thing.
Well, could it be that somebody went to China, touched something on a plane, and then somebody comes in and touches the plane, or something where they sat,
And they
or
touched
maybe
the
it's...
It lasts a long
touched it.
time.
Yeah,
It does
yeah.
last. I think
Yeah.
it's 45 days or something like that.
45 days?
I could be making that up, but I
Where's
thought I
that
read that.
antibiotic?
Oh, don't get excited. So...
But there is a lot of hysteria. So we
Yeah.
have people
There's
canceling
misinformation,
trips,
too.
and there's a lot of misinformation. Just like anything, you worry because it is scary, and then of course we have all those movies that scare the heck out of us.
Oh gosh, yes.
Well, pandemics are a real thing. I've
yeah.
trained in emergency management for pandemics with the health department for years now. And because they don't know if this was man-made, they don't know if this was naturally occurring, China is very, very secretive about their state secrets, and there's speculation that this could be, they were working on something and it got out. Just the same, very
You mean
similar as
biological warfare, and this was a biological warfare thing?
Very possible.
This was
there's still speculation about Lyme disease, that was a biologic agent that got loose down in a place off of Long Island. So there's speculation about that too. So there's things that are natural and there's things that can be manufactured.
What's the name of the island in Long Island Sound?
Plum Island or something like that.
Is it Plum Island?
I think that's what they call it. Yeah.
And
which is a known biological warfare center.
Well, everything I've read is that it is naturally occurring from because the market's there. Of course, you have more than 1 billion people. You're going to eat pretty much everything. So
right.
that it is animal to human.
It's something.
Yes,
and they're saying
it doesn't really matter where it came from.
Sometimes, isn't it strange animals that they're eating? They're eating bats or
right.
Or
That we wouldn't eat, I guess.
Yeah.
And then of course the markets are all open air and things are slaughtered there, and so it's more germy.
It doesn't matter the origin either. It's something that our bodies don't have any immunity to, so it's going to hit it hard, and that's why they're so. That's why they quarantine astronauts that go to the moon and things like that, because they don't know what they're going to bring back, and those foreign organisms just have no defenses
against.
We got
a moon bug.
So
no
these folks in the quarantine towns in Italy, are they able to? They're not able to leave the town, but they can go to the store and live their lives within the town. Is that what
I read an article yesterday, just in the Wall Street Journal. Just everything is quiet, just like it is in China. There's no one out. There's people, and I actually read yesterday that they stopped a train from going into Austria because 2 people on the train had fevers, and they stopped it.
Boy.
And you have to stop.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's good,
otherwise
it's good
we're
to
global.
be cautious. Just don't be paranoid.
Cautious.
So go back. Put that aside.
Don't be crazy about
Where's a good place to go? Were we going to talk about Mardi Gras?
Yeah, that's good. That's a much
absolutely.
happier.
Yeah.
But where does somebody find out about this kind of thing? Travel advisories. Travel advisories are important to know that you have to be on guard in a particular country.
Does
or
a travel agent stay on top of that, and that's a place to start?
Yes, absolutely. But also the CDC. The State Department, they all issue notices, and the CDC ranks countries by level of concern for different things. And, for example, China's a level 3, Japan and South Korea are level 2. Italy is still level 1, which means you don't have to cancel your travel plans, but just use normal caution, wash your hands, that type of thing. Stay out of the
quarantine
cities.
It's not Florence or Rome.
It's Venice. No, it's Venice.
No.
Yeah,
Venice is
up in
one
that
of them?
area. It's up in that area.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah. So, just use common sense.
Yeah.
But just keep an eye on it and read the paper, watch the news. Don't buy into the hysteria. Just try to get the facts. Go to the CDC website and find out what's going on.
Yeah. And they
Call
probably
me. I can tell you.
That's very good. And you could tell them whether to wear a mask, to wash your hands. I just heard that the hand sanitizers I'm using are okay, but you've got to still use soap and water.
Soap and water's the best.
That is much better. So, and I was thinking, geez, I'm going to be on a plane, and I need to wash my hands on the plane. There is this tiny little sink, and how do I wash my hands on a plane?
We talked about this before. Wipe everything down. Bring the wipes and wipe your tray table and your armrests, and who cares what people looking at you?
Yeah. But that bathroom, immediately just the thought of a bathroom on a 6-hour trip, that means 2-3 times I'm going to walk to the bathroom. I'm going to open that door. I'm going to go into that little confined area. Oh God, I'm getting nervous just thinking about it.
Where are you going?
Bob, you really
I'm not going anywhere.
You really are that ugly American, aren't you?
I'm the ugly American.
The one they talk about.
Although, you know what, in Bob's defense, the airlines don't do much to make us comfortable. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to make
That's
that
also
statement.
true. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. So you're going to Japan, huh?
We are, and I'm super excited about it.
Where
I've
you're
never
flying
been.
into Tokyo? Is that where you go? You're flying into? Is that the go-to place to go into?
We're flying into Osaka.
Mm.
And we're flying into Osaka, and then we're flying out of Tokyo. So we're doing a tour around. I'm very excited. I have been to Asia, but it's my first time to Japan. So I can't wait for it.
Do you have Amazon Prime, Janine?
I do.
You might want to look up a show called Our Man in Japan.
Okay.
It's it's a British presenter, but he goes from the northern tip of the island chain to the southern tip of the island chain. It is funny, some of the stuff that he comes across while he's there.
Oh, great! I will.
Our Man in Japan.
James May, very, very funny. It's just a great show.
What I heard that my friend went to Tokyo and he said he had the worst time because he couldn't read street names and there really weren't street address. They don't know the concept of street addresses apparently or something. So, are you going with a guide or no? You're going on your own.
Yes.
So you're planning this all out now. Say something in Japanese.
No.
To me.
Well, you know,
is it
I have a tip.
sayonara?
I know. We'll be. Hopefully, it won't be sayonara. I'll never see you again.
Mushy mushy.
Right, when you go to a place, especially a place in Asia where the alphabet's different, pick up a business card from your hotel as soon as you get there, or find a way or someone that can translate. Or if you're renting an Airbnb, have the landlord write the address in Japanese and carry that with you, because if you need to get a cab, all you have to do is show them the piece of paper or the business card and they can get you back to the hotel. Or if you get lost or
how do you know that's what it really says?
Okay.
You know what? You download the Google Glass or Google Translate app and it does it real time now. You just point it at it.
I had an experience in Mexico City once with this. Okay.
Oh boy.
So this is before I even tried to speak Spanish or knew anything about Spanish.
Can you
You'd
speak
think
Spanish
I would have
now?
known. Okay. Yeah. Sí.
Un poquito.
Un poquito. Yeah. Yes. Hable español poquito. Un poquito. But that sounds French, doesn't it? I don't know. At any rate. So I write the address down on a piece of paper, and it said the name of the place I was staying was Casa Gonzalez. Okay. So I gave it to somebody on the street, and they said, Casa Gonzalez. I said, do you know it? And they said, yes. So they took me to Casa Gonzalez. And we went across the big highway in Mexico City where that beautiful, they have an arch there and stuff. And I'm thinking, well, this is nice. And we go down a side street and then into a building that looks sort of like an apartment house. We go up the elevator and we go down the hall and there's a knock on the door. And this little old woman opens the door, and I'm standing there with my bag, and the man who was helping me says, Casa Gonzalez. It was the home of a woman named Gonzalez.
Casa de Gonzalez,
It was
Bob.
their friend. No, it was their friend or something.
Did you end up staying there?
Yeah, no.
And the person was like,
They might have
what a
taken you in."
coincidence. I know her.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's my experience with writing it on a piece of paper. And I guess I could have said it's a hotel. If I had said that, it would have been. But the guy was so
Hotel
nice.
de Gonzalez.
So nice and friendly.
Yeah. But that woman, this is your long-lost son from America who wants to stay with you for 2 weeks.
That's hilarious.
At any rate. So you're going to Japan. You're going to do that. Yeah, now, are you traveling with your family?
I am traveling with my family.
So the kids and everything?
The kids and everything, yeah.
How do you travel with children?
Well, my kids are older.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I mean, they're teenagers, but we have been traveling with them since they were young. And it's planning. So,
And that's what you specialized in. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? And you have to go with the flow. Those are my biggest pieces of advice. Make sure you plan and go with the flow because it will never be perfect, ever.
Do you make plans for your children as well as yourself? In other words, I'm going to this museum and you're going to the park.
So I try to mix it up.
Okay.
And find things that interest everyone. So sometimes you do have to go and suck it up and go to something that mom likes. But other times I will, although now that they're older, we like a lot of the same things. But I also add in, especially when they were young, like our first overseas trip was to England, to London, when they were kids.
Uh-huh.
And I added in like a speedboat ride on the Thames, like fun stuff. Of course, the London Eye, but then we also went to Hampton Palace. We did, and while we were there, we did the ghost scavenger hunt.
Sure.
So we add in things like that. So and what's nice, a lot of museums, a lot of other places have things specifically for kids. They'll have like a ghost trail, or they'll have a scavenger hunt, or they'll have something so you get to see the museum, but still entertain the kids. Like I know in New York they'll have like mystery at the museum, and you have to solve a crime, and so it's super fun. So there's a lot of that, but you just have to dig down and find it.
Yeah, and the children get to appreciate other cultures this way.
Yes, I think it's super important because
your kids don't say, "Oh no, we're going to Japan. Why don't you take? I got a football game I want to see."
I know.
Or, baseball.
No, they might, because I think we're enthusiastic about it. I think everything is attitude. You sort of you build enthusiasm for it. I try to have them learn a little bit about the country, a little bit about the culture, and make it more meaningful.
Yeah. Who is harder to travel with, your husband or your kids?
No, my husband's an excellent traveler.
Oh, is he?
Because he travels a ton for business, so he is like an expert traveler. It's all business. When we get to the airport, it is boom, 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 we're through. My son likes to travel the least, so sometimes he can be challenging.
Is
but now
he the
older.
dawdler that you just have to come on, let's go?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's older now, so he's getting better. But when he was younger, it could be tough. But my daughter is very open to anything. Really.
Yeah. And because you've traveled with them, you've made them open to anything, I bet.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. You probably start out small, I suppose, to get. I would think that, okay, for me, my love of travel came. I had an aunt who, on the spur of the moment, would say, "Let's go to New York."
Nice.
And she would take me to New York City, and we'd go all over New York, and just on the spur of the moment. And those kinds of trips close to home really have made me understand the beauty of traveling. I think, regardless of the situation in the world, we have to learn what other cultures are about in one way or another.
Absolutely.
And
I believe that, because I think that once we get to know people and meet people, we're all the same. We care about our families. We care about our friends. We care about our homes. We're just trying to live.
Yes, exactly.
Really.
I was just thinking, Steve, do you watch Steve, what's the name? Steve Reeves? No, what's his name? Steve, what's
Rick Steves.
I keep calling him Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves used to be back in my day, he was a super star, or he was the guy that played like superheroes.
Right.
Yeah, Steve Reeves. So it's Rick Steves. I like to watch Rick Steves, but then I realized I don't want to see something before I get there.
All right.
I don't.
That's
I don't enjoy. I mean, somebody
want
said
the surprise.
I want the surprise of what this is going to be, and so I will sometimes speed through something if he's in a bar or a particular kind of thing, like noodle making in Japan or whatever. I would stay for that, but in terms of what the town is and all that, no, I don't know.
I love Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, he was so great.
He was so great.
Yeah. You learned more about the country through the eating and the food and his discussions than
I believe that.
And
culinary travel is huge now. It is really, it's one of the top trends of 2020. Because people want to go in and have that experience, be in the kitchen, making pasta. And now you can go and eat in people's homes. It's so interesting.
I could go to the Casa Gonzalez and have a taco.
And she would make you, right? She'd make
make me some beans and some delicious meals. Mexican food is delicious. It's my favorite.
Right. So if you have that personality, you like to meet new people and don't mind going into someone's home, and you can do a hands-on cooking class all over the world.
And where do you find those kinds of cooking classes?
So there's a company called Eat With. And there's a couple of different companies, but the company I know best is Eat With. And really it is just personalized, food experiences. It can be a food tour. It can be a local bringing you to his or her favorite bars. I mean, it's something like that, like really on the ground personal stuff.
I see. Are they, is it based on per person or group?
You can't, it depends. Some tours do per person and then others per group. So it depends how small of a group. So if you're in someone's home, I'm sure they don't want more than 4 or 6 people.
Me and
so
my
it would
20
be
cousins.
Just your, right. So it would probably just be your group.
I get it. Hey, everybody, it's 7:19 in the morning. You know, I've been playing all this great music from New Orleans, and I think we also ought to recognize that there are other cities that celebrate the Mardi Gras. So Sergio Mendes, do you remember Sergio Mendes?
I don't.
No. Oh, honest God. Okay, so this is my age showing. Sergio Mendes, Brazil 66. Brazil 66 was a group that Sergio founded in 1966. So we have Sergio Mendes, Brazil 66, Brazil 77, Brazil 88, et cetera, et cetera. He is now 79 years old, and there is a really wonderful documentary coming out about his life and bringing the music of Brazil to the world through popular. The Shadow of Your Smile. He had a lot of big hits back in the 60s that you probably call bubblegum music or something. However, that really was sort of like the Manhattan Transfer. Do you remember the Manhattan?
Sure, I do remember that.
Well, only it was related to that that Brazilian sound, the bossa nova, et cetera, et cetera. So he's got a new album out that's in the Key of Joy, it's called. And this is, I'm going to play a song from the Key of Joy that is called In the Key of Joy. And he does it with a rapper. So his music has gone from the music of 66 to the music of 2020. So it's great to know that music changes and musicians evolve. And this is Sergio Mendes and In the Key of Joy with Buddy.
My honey baby, he's my man, got me feeling love. Knows how to treat me like one man, we got real love. I'll make him lunch and then I'll cook me dinner made with love. Dessert exotic, my body, he'll eat it up. We'll go rendezvous in Paris, champagne till we get off here. Listen to Sergio Mendes on the stages of Brazil. Swim in Rio de Janeiro, have a cup of acai. Love is everywhere, cause I know by the way he looks at me. Cause the look of love is in your eyes. The look your smile can't disguise. It's the look of love. You're saying much more than words could ever say. When you look my way, it takes my breath away.
Girl, you got the look of love. 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 Girl, you got.
Go to a party with my man, we got spicy love. Across the crowded room, he stares at me full of love. Later I'll meet him in the bed, we'll be making love. We keep it naughty, our bodies will heat it up. Cause we like to keep the passion and we like to feel the fire. Dancing in Copacabana, got us burning with desire. Central Bay and then Ibiza, reserved 2 seats by the pool. The intensity that we have is just between me and you. Cause the look of love is in your eyes. The your eyes, the look, your smile at the skies. It's the look of love. You're saying much more than words could ever say. And when you look my way, it takes my breath away.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donuts shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning and it is the Westfield and Weekend Show. I'm here with Peter Coles, the kid of the keys, meow, over there on the board, and Trusty, Dusty, Lusty, Musty, Crusty, and well-modulated sidekick, JPEG Luca, and we've got the travel. Oh, I got to come up with a travel. You are the travel
wizard.
Oh, you are. Oh, there we are. The travel wizard.
I like travel wizard.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's what you're. Actually, that's
mysterious.
what your card here says. Travel wizard.
It does.
Janine Queenan, Queenin, from StoriedAdventures.com. Storied Adventures. STORIED.com. And it says, this is your subtext, novel vacations for your curious mind. Doesn't that sound like you want to just travel someplace? My curious mind is leading me everywhere. Hey, that was Sergio Mendez's Look of Love, incidentally. That was not in the key of life. I think I screwed up there, but it was still a pretty song. Hey, speaking of Mardi Gras, let's talk about New Orleans.
I know.
And you don't say New Orleans, right? You say New Orleans.
New Orleans. You know what, though? Anytime you try to do an accent, it's like people trying to do a Boston accent.
Oh, yeah, it's true. That's exactly right.
Stop.
Yes.
Well, I love New Orleans, but I have to be honest with you. Mardi Gras sounds horrible to me.
It's maybe 30 years ago.
Right.
But I've been to the big parties. I've seen the chaos, and okay, it was fun once. So I guess you got to experience it once, but
it's sort of like New Year's Eve, only extended and
a lot more alcohol,
a lot of alcohol, etc.
It said 1.4 million people go to New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
1.4 million. Oh my God,
that's a lot. I mean, it's a beautiful city and it's just amazing. But even, again, maybe it's age, but going to Bourbon Street, you go to see it, but really, I did not want to stay. I went to Frenchman Street, I went to the Garden District. We went a whole bunch of different places, and it was just sort of nicer, cleaner, because you feel like you're at spring break. I don't know if anyone went on spring break in college, but It was just that. Too much.
Too much of everything.
Too much of everything. Giant fish bowls of booze, and, you don't really, who needs that?
And they allow drinking on the street.
They do. No bottles, though. That's the one rule.
No. What does that mean? No bottle? You mean you have your drink poured into a cup?
Plastic
Red
cup.
Solo cup.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is safer.
Safer. Now.
Because people are drunk. I mean, Jay, you've been, people are drunk. And unpleasantly. Yes, during the middle of the day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And people are, stumbling around. They're urinating on the street. It's a mess.
At one point,
it's
it's funny when you're a certain age and it's funny, and then all of a sudden it's like not so funny anymore.
Yeah. So if you're looking for that, that's Bourbon
If you're
Street,
looking
though.
to be drunk and uncivilized,
But that's really Bourbon Street.
That's only Bourbon Street.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of partying, tons of music. It's super fun. But
Yeah.
like, if you go to Frenchman Street, which is also lots of bars and restaurants, I just felt a little more older, a little more mature, a little
Sure.
more civilized.
Sure. Yeah.
So you could have the similar experience: fun, live music, great food, but not the chaos.
But doesn't that signify or represent
My
New
age?
Orleans? New Orleans every day.
No, it's not
I
that
mean,
we're old. We've already experienced
Right.
it.
Oh yeah,
Been there, done that. I'm good.
Yeah. But New Orleans is a party town.
Oh, absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
year long, but it doesn't become like this maddening thing here.
Right.
Yeah.
And
What would
again,
be the thing to see it?
You can go anytime. You can go to New Orleans anytime.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to see the parades, I suppose.
That's true. That's true. But
You
there are
know?
other festivals too. I went during a music festival, so it was crowded, but it was not the same. So there was a lot going on in the city, just a lot of music, and that it's so vibrant and exciting that you don't necessarily need the parades.
How do you ever find a room or a place to stay in New Orleans during the month of February or March before Mardi
You must
Gras?
plan ahead, and I would think too. I mean, it's a lot of the neighborhoods you could walk if you needed to. So you don't necessarily have to stay right on Bourbon Street. You don't have to really stay right in city.
Yeah. Is Bourbon is New Orleans a walkable city?
In some places. So we stayed in the Marinay district, which is it was walking distance to Frenchman Street, but it was beautiful. I mean, it was just the houses of every different color and really vibrant and excellent restaurants and stuff. But it was outside of the downtown, and we were able to walk. But we also took cabs when we needed to.
Sure.
But it's just like any city, so you just want to be cautious. And New Orleans has crime just like every other city, so you just want to be aware
Skyscrapers.
of that.
No
No
skyscrapers.
skyscrapers.
Uh-huh.
We did take a tour. So we went into District 9, which had really felt the brunt of the floods for Katrina.
Yeah, sure.
So there were tours, and I was conflicted because I did feel bad because I'm sure they're tired of people driving through and looking at them through the windows of a bus. And
Oh, God,
But
yes.
when you drive through, the houses, some of them have been fixed, but a lot of them are just decaying and falling in. They're exactly the way they were left because our guide told us it was because if they fall in, the city will pay to remove them. But if the people didn't want to pay for it, because they couldn't afford to, right? So they just left it to decay. So you'll have this rebuilt house next to a house that's just the heat and the moisture, everything is rotting and decaying. And then of course you have the military went around and would check the houses for bodies for people,
Sure, of
and then
course.
they would mark the house with an X if they'd been there. Or no. I can't remember, but either way, and they're still there, so it's so interesting to see after all this time. But the reason
they actually have tours of what do they say? Katrina tours? Is that
yes, they are
really?
Or they're city tours, and they go through District 9. But again, so you do feel bad because it does feel intrusive. But on the
Yes.
flip side, I feel it's important to be reminded what happened there
Sure.
and sort of what we let happen and
Oh,
our
yeah.
fellow citizens,
my
and really
God.
because
That's
the
right.
water. So they showed if you think back and the footage, the people standing on the bridges, and they bring you to the bridges. You can see the watermarks. Like it was so flooded, and the people are just 10,
Wow.
12 feet of water, and people are just standing
Do
there.
do they at the end of the tour say, look, if you'd like to donate to a particular Katrina fund?
No, they don't do that. Not the one that I was on.
Now,
no.
see, that would be a nice kind of thing. That a part of this money that you're spending to look at the destruction of a natural disaster, you're going to help in a way.
Right,
You know,
right.
it might be that being nice. Just a next
Just a
time.
thought.
Just a thought. Make a collection the next time you take that tour, Janine.
I know. I don't think I'll do it again.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
saw it one time,
That's
but it was
a-
really because they talked about why the flooding happened. It was fascinating. But again, I did feel
I can
bad
see
that I'm
that.
like staring
Sure.
at people looking out the windows at
Yeah,
them. So
it's sort of like Pompeii in a way. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
we're very interested in what nature is doing to us or can do to us.
it's true, and
Yeah.
it is interesting. You have something will capture the imagination like Pompeii or even the Titanic.
Oh,
Like I
my
think about
gosh,
it all the
yeah.
time. It's been more than 100 years,
Yeah.
and
Oh my God!
or has it been almost
you
100
just
years?
put the word Titanic in anything, and I'm there because I'm fascinated by that Titanic, and I know that we've got a museum here in Indian Orchard, and there's one in Belfast, of course. But that is true. That sort of the San Francisco earthquake. I'm wondering if they do anything out there about that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Belfast Museum?
No, I haven't yet.
It's
Yeah,
really
no,
it's
yeah.
well done. It's
God.
really well done, and it's built so, it's several floors, and it's like the Titanic was built. So you have the area where sort of the more high
where
class
is that?
passengers.
Is that
would
in
be.
Belfast?
It's in
Yeah,
Belfast,
Belfast.
and then down, and you see how
What the
these people-
steerage is,
yeah.
and then down to the
It's really
third
interesting.
class
And then
and-
talked about the specific people and their stories,
Yeah.
which I find fascinating. I find
Yeah,
much more interesting than looking at a bunch of relics. I'd like to know the
You
people
notice
on
my
the
ears
ship.
perked up when you talked about that. That's stuff that I love too, like trying to live the history.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
that's
did a
right.
nice
Or
job.
slice of it.
Oh, one of the most moving. There are two compared to the Titanic, as you say. The Holocaust Museum in Washington D.C. is so touching, so wonderful, and really in its own way, it's a place to bring children in a way, and a place also to be prepared that this is not. You're not
easy.
going to Disneyland
No.
at the same time, but that and Anne Frank's house in Amsterdam, again, that same kind of thing about a catastrophe, those World War II catastrophes. But New Orleans itself it's come back alive, hasn't it?
It has come back alive, and a lot of the neighborhoods that were damaged have been rebuilt. And it's beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful city, and so worth going to. And it's
What
nice
time
to
of year would you recommend rather than
Not the
Mardi Gras?
summer.
Not
Probably-
the summer.
probably not the middle of the summer. It'd be really hot.
If you like hot, you
Right.
could go there. Yes. Yeah.
And there's something for everyone. It's really fascinating, like the blend of all the different cultures, and then of course it has this like mystical, supernatural thing going on, and that I think that's a lot to do with the books that have been like Anne Rice's books about vampires and stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we went on, and I know this is silly, but we went on a vampire tour. So
Oh, no.
and it was hilarious. It was
Really?
hilarious. It was street art. It was just street performance. So you had our guide, and then he had people involved, and he was supposed to be a vampire and all this, but it was just a street performance.
Was it at
and-
nighttime?
It was at
nighttime?
nighttime. But New Orleans has tons of spooky stories. I mean,
Sure.
of course, just like any city, there was murder, there's mayhem,
Yeah.
there's this.
American Horror Story actually took place in New Orleans, I think, a couple of
Oh,
seasons.
did it one episode?
Yeah. No, a whole season full of.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. The famous voodoo princess, Marie Laveau or something
Yes.
is a character in there played
no
by
kidding.
Kathy Bates. Yeah.
And so going to visit the cemeteries there, it's a thing because they're really interesting. Everyone's buried above ground. Plus, they're old and they're spooky and
Sure,
they're really
sure.
neat. But they've limited access to her grave because people go and it's too much
really?
and it's disturbing the people, the families and visiting other people. But yeah, so that whole thing too, and then voodoo but it's interesting because I learned a little bit about voodoo and like anything, it gets the Hollywood treatment. It's not what people think.
Really?
It's not, no. So we went to a shop there that it's all about
It was a
but
voodoo
it's-
shop?
Yeah, but it's I don't know if they consider it a religion, but they're like it's not
Yeah.
that. That was in the movies, but it's all about light, and you're not supposed to be evil. You're supposed to be kind. You're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be that. So I thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sure.
so it's fun. You can do all that type of thing too.
Yeah. So better to go in the non-summertime.
I would, unless you hate the heat and the moisture.
Yes. Yeah. And what about restaurants? I mean, like they always talk about the food of New Orleans.
It's so my advice is to ask a local for anything.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff, in the tourist areas. And another piece of advice, if you see a hot spot tourist area, run away and do not eat anywhere near it.
Really?
Because that's where all the cheapest, the lower quality, I mean, not always, but 9 times out of 10.
Sure.
If you're by the Trevi Fountain, do not eat right next to the Trevi Fountain.
Oh, gosh. There's a pizza place right next to the... Actually, I said that... Yeah, right. Yeah. I said, James, let's get a pizza from right here at the Trevi Fountain. Well... Yeah, as you say, it wasn't the nice pizza that I got later on in the day.
In a little neighborhood spot.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
but
gotcha.
I think it's hard. Just sort of like the North End in Boston. It's tough to get a bad meal.
Yes. Where do you stay in New Orleans? What's a great place to stay?
Well, we actually rented a house, because we were with a group, so that went really well. But there's a lot of places that are in the Garden District or, close to Bourbon Street, down by the water. I mean, there's every level of hotel. You can stay at a Marriott, you can stay at a Ritz. There's all yeah. So there's a lot of nice places.
Gotcha. Hey, why don't we play a song, Peter? Let's play Louis Armstrong's. You can't do. The music of New Orleans without playing jazz. And jazz really had its basis in New Orleans, started in New Orleans. And Louis Armstrong, well, we talk about Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street Parade is one of Louis Armstrong's hits. The Dukes of Dixieland. Dixieland is a kind of jazz. And I just love the voice of Louis Armstrong singing Bourbon Street Parade. Here it is.
Let's fly down or drive down to New Orleans. That city, oh, it's pretty. Historic scenes. I'll take you, parade you down Bourbon Street. There are lots of hot spots. You'll see all the big shots down on Bourbon Street, yes.
Let's fly down or drive down to New Orleans.
Sing it,
that city, it sure is pretty. Historic scene.
I'm
gonna take you, I'll even parade you down Bourbon Street. Well, there are a lot of hot spots. You're gonna see some big shots down on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, one more gate.
Let's fly down.
Yes.
Or drive down to New Orleans. See that city?
Yes, that city.
It sure is pretty.
You telling me?
Historic scene. I'm gonna take you.
You gonna take me?
I'll even parade
well,
you.
Thanks, Kate.
Down on Bourbon Street.
Yes,
there are a lot of hot spots. Yeah. We're gonna meet all those big shots
down on Bourbon Street. Yeah.
Underwriting for WSKB's community radio programming is brought to you in part by R. Levesque Associates. They are offering landscape architecture, civil engineering, environmental permitting, and land surveying. RLA is a second-generation company devoted to excellence in the planning and design of outdoor spaces. On the web at rlaland.com or at 40 School Street in Westfield.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is February 25th. Hey, here's some news. This weekend, you've got to tune in to our local Channel 15 because it's the Kiwanis auction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Kiwanis auction happens every year. I'm a Kiwanian, as you may know, and George Delisle is, and Brad Casson, my insurance lad, are the hosts with Adam Wright, and it goes on from 12 noon to about 8 o'clock at night. And there are some incredible buys, and you are able to call in. You get to bid on the items, and they've got all kinds of items from there's this treasure chest that has all kinds of wonderful things. I think WOW's got a big basket of stuff, certificates and all kinds of things you can bid on. But then individual items that really are one of a kind and just terrific. That's on Channel 15 from 12 until 8, and I am on the phones early on, and then I go to the display table. I am the
Vanna White.
Vanna White of
the Kiwanis.
Yeah. I do it with Ann Benoit and Amanda Brodkin, and we have fun. Kathy Bastable as well, and we are. I try to be humorous about the items that I'm selling. Sometimes they don't get my humor, but I do try.
So they're big, like big items, like trips and things like that? Or
there are some trips, absolutely. They have a super board, and then they have smaller items as well that have been donated, and they make around $40,000 a year.
It's the biggest fundraiser of the year.
Yeah, it's really, and it's fun, and you can do it online, and it's. I think if you go to Greater Westfield or Westfield Kiwanians or Kiwanis, KIWANIS, you can find out all of the information.
What does the money go to?
Goes to children.
Nice.
Children, and all of the money goes to the area. So it's really, they do great work. They're the ones that started the Boys and Girls Club, and
Westfield Little League.
The Westfield Little League. They had a lot to do with the founding of both of those.
Yep.
And in fact, I'm going to Chez Joseph on Saturday night.
Chez Jose.
Chez Jose. Is that how you say it?
That's what we used to in high school. When everybody had their prom there.
Oh, at Chez Jose. Oh, Chez Joseph. You get all dolled up, and we're going to the
Y50? Boys and Girls Club 50th anniversary dinner.
50th anniversary dinner. Are you going to be there, Peter, by chance?
Nope. I was not invited.
It
doesn't matter. I'm good with that.
Oh, gosh. No, I think there were tickets available. If you're still interested, you might call. You could call Bill Parks and see. But so we're going to be celebrating the Boys and Girls Club. And then in the morning on Saturday, we are having a Westfield on Weekends retreat to plan all the events that are happening or to talk about all the big events, etc., that are happening at Westfield on weekends, and to talk about the Westfield Creative Arts Center, WOW Creative Arts Center, which is at 105 Elm Street. You can read all about Westfield on Weekends at westfieldonweekends.com. Those are my advertisements. Yes. Hey, speaking of items, James is the catalog king. He gets catalogs. You buy one catalog and then you get 40.
You get a 40.
Yeah. And last week, Magellan's, your trusted source for travel solutions and gear, came in the mail. And I said, "What's this? How do they know I travel?" And
They know everything.
Yeah, this is a London company of all things, Magellans.com. But I said, why don't we talk about some items that are, what do you got for me? What items can I buy?
Oh, you can buy now. You know what's so funny? There's so many gadgets now. Like, back in the day, you would just try to jerry rig something to be comfortable.
Oh, yeah,
but
sure.
now you can get everything. I think so. My go-to items that I always travel with.
Yeah, tell me.
I always have noise canceling headphones. I invested in a pair, and it's a lifesaver.
Did you buy Bose or something else?
I do have a Bose. Yes, worth every single penny. And for the planes,
What do you
even
mean,
in
like-
hotels, because it's silence. It's not just like earplugs. It has a has a battery. You turn it on, and it almost sounds like it's sucking the air out of your ears. So you
Really?
can't hear anything. Oh, it's brilliant. That is like my favorite travel thing that I've ever bought.
Yes, yeah.
And also, I use compression tubes to pack, so you can fit more
So
stuff.
tell me about those.
So you put your items in it, and then you suck the air out. So it's like
With your vacuum cleaner or something?
Right,
Wait a minute. How do you suck the air? I know
Yeah,
I
so
suck
it's-
the
No,
air
legit.
out of a lot of things.
Pack,
but,
you can pack probably about, what, 3 times as much?
Yes.
If you get rid of the air?
Yes, if you need to. So I love that
Yeah.
too. It's a great thing. And then there are. Do you bring a travel pillow on the plane? Do you bring a neck?
You
pillow?
know, I bought one in the airport that I traveled with for when I went to Ireland, and then I traveled with it forever. And then I kind of lost it somewhere.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I
it's
left
easy
it
to
on the
do.
seat or
Well, you
something.
always see people wearing them around their necks and everything.
Yeah. Do you bring a travel pillow?
Well, I do sometimes, but I
Especially
have
with
trouble.
this, you're cleaning your seat there, so I bet you bring a travel blanket and a travel pillow.
I just saw there is a company has created a sheet to hang over your whole seat, kind of like you'll cover an old chair. It'll be a
Yes,
chair
of
cover.
course.
It's exactly the same, but you cover your entire airline plane to seat.
Really,
Yeah.
like a seat cover for your
Yes.
seat.
I love that.
This
I think
is
it's
really
hilarious.
kind of sweet. Yeah.
Well, I have seen it. It's something I haven't tried yet, but I think I might try. They have new. Well, have you seen the slings that you can attach your head to the back of the seat? So they have they have slings, and they also have neck pillows that you can wear, and it attaches to the seat because I believe this. What wakes you up is the head bob. Like you fall
that's
asleep
true.
and then you twitch.
That's true.
So it holds your head in place, and it sounds super uncomfortable. But I think if you're asleep and you're not twitching,
and you don't know it.
you don't know it. I think it would be great.
You know that sounds like a good. I was looking for in this Magellan's catalog here. It had something. It had 2 things that I thought it was it was sort of like something that you strap to the chair in front of you.
Oh, and
So it's like a cradle for your feet.
oh, I've seen that too. I've
Yeah.
seen that too. That's a good one. I've also seen the one where you sleep lying forward. Like there's something that attaches to the seat in front of you, and then you lean over and
You
sleep
lean
that
over
way.
the seat in front of you?
Yeah,
Now,
well,
wait a
lean
minute.
You attach it to the back of the seat in front of you.
Yes.
And then you sleep forward. So people are always. It's all about sleeping.
It's sort of like a sleep sack. Now,
Yes,
I wonder what
similar
it
to something
does
like
to
that.
the person sitting in the front. You know, they had that
I
recent
know.
that man that wouldn't stop bothering
Hitting the
that
seat.
banging
But I guess
that
that's my
seat.
question. Do you recline? Do you recline in the seat? See, I never recline, and it drives me crazy when people recline. And again, it comes back to how the airlines treat us. They put as many seats as they can, so it's called the pitch between your body and the seat in front of you, and the pitch is smaller and smaller. And by the way, if you ever wanted to see how the planes are configured or the pitch or
Right.
everything, you can go to seatguru.com.
Seat
Find your
Guru.
airline, find your plane, and it will tell you exactly where the seat is, in relation to the bathroom, anything, how big, how big
much
the
room
pitch
you
is,
have.
how much room you have, everything, how much leg room, all of it. So if that matters to you, especially if you're tall or whatever, you need more room, you can make a better informed decision about what airline you fly on and what seat you buy.
Well, it would seem to me that the anything that is going to be attached to the seat in front of you, and you're going to do a sling thing,
It could be a problem.
and they put the seat down.
Yes.
That's asking for trouble, or that if your neck you're strapped in, and then how do you get out of it when the guy next to you wants to go to the bathroom? I mean, like
I know it's like acrobatics on a plane. It's crazy, but yeah. So that's. I mean, I think unfortunately we'll see more and more of that. I mean, people are just rude to each other. People aren't kind to each other sometimes, but also think about being stuck in a plane all that time, squished in like that.
Oh,
just
gosh.
is enough to drive anybody.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an interesting thing called flight spray.
Oh, what's that?
Flight spray, made with antibacterial, antifungal turmeric root, naturally antiseptic, spearmint, and purified water, helps prevent viral infections, alleviates nasal dryness, and relieves cold symptoms. One fluid ounce bottle. Yeah. So, it's a nasal spray.
So to fight illness and
apparently that. And then there's no jet lag. Okay, these are all natural homeopathic tablets. Addresses all the symptoms of jet lag, not just sleepiness, with no side effects. Packet includes 32 pleasant-tasting chewable, sufficient for about 50 hours of flying time.
Wow. I wonder what's in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm a big believer in making sure you stay hydrated. We've talked about that before,
Sure.
But then B vitamins and electrolytes, but that's all dehydration, to try to make yourself feel better, because the dehydration and the dryness in the plane exacerbates jet lag big time.
Yeah.
So you feel terrible when you get off. So if you can't, and I'm a terrible sleeper on planes. I don't know if it's because I've talked myself into that.
Sure.
But so I never sleep. So I'm always exhausted.
Well, I think I've said it on my show. I use a Ronald Reagan's jet lag thing. At 6 o'clock, I take 2 cups of black coffee, and I have fasted before, and then 2 days before you fast, and then you feast, and then you fast again, and then you get on a plane, and at 6 o'clock at night you drink the black coffee, and it supposedly kicks you over into the next time zone. I don't know whether that works or not. Hey, look at 7:56 in the morning. We've wasted another hour. We can talk forever about travel, and we will, with our great host. How do we find you, Janine?
So you can find me at StoriedAdventures.com.
Yeah.
I'm also on Facebook, Storied Adventures, and Instagram, Storied Adventures Travel.
Wonderful, wonderful. We love having you here. We'll
I
see
love
you
being here, Bob.
It's a pleasure. Janine Queen, and she's wearing her Carole King hairdo today as well. I love it. Every time
Just
you come
for
in,
you.
you make me happy. Your hair makes me happy.
I
I
wish I
got to
could
say,
say.
it's really. Hey,
Bob's easy to please.
Yeah. Hey, this shows you how New Orleans music has changed. This is y'all get back now. It's from it's bounce music. Bounce music is the next stage in New Orleans music, and this
you're
is
just
a
a
few years.
trendsetter.
I am. This is Frida or Frisia. You all get back now. See you next week, everybody. Get out there and validate.
Uptown trying to shake. Y'all get back now. Y'all get back now. Y'all get back now. Back now. Shake for the money. Bounce to the floor. Toot it up. Hot, girl, let's go. Shake for the money. Bounce to the floor. Toot it up. Hot, girl, let's go. Y'all get back now. Y'all get back now. Y'all get back now. Y'all get back. Y'all get back. Y'all get back now. Y'all get back now. Toot it up. Hot. Toot it up. Hot. Get back. 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 Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Toot it up. Hot. Dribble. Hot. Toot it up. Hot. Dribble. Hot. Toot it up. Dribble. Toot it up. 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 She rocky. She rocky. Now wait a minute. Ow! Who's got to make the beat go boom? 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 Boom. What that uptown there? Boom. What that downtown there? Boom. What that West Bank at? Boom. I wanna know who got the best to make the beat go boom, 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 boom. Make the beat go boom, boom, boom. Make your back go boom, boom. Shake for the money, bounce to the floor, toot it up, hot. Let's go. Yo, get back, 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 toot it up, hot. Get back, 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 get back. Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ow! Who's got the back to make the beat go boom? Who's got the back to make the beat go boom? Who's got the back to make the beat go boom? Who's got the back to make the beat go boom? Do it, 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 do it. Shake for the money, bounce to the floor, toot it up, hot, girl, let's go. Shake for the money, bounce to the floor, toot it up, hot, girl, let's go. Yo, get back now, yo, get back now, yo, get back now, yo, get back, yo, get back, yo, get back now, yo, get back now, toot it up, hot, toot it up, hot, get back, 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 get back. Toot it up, hot, dribble, hot, toot it up, hot, dribble, hot, toot it up, dribble, toot it up. Who's got the back to make the beat go? Y'all get back now.
Underwriting for WSKB's community radio programming is brought to you in part by R. Levesque Associates. They are